Hey everyone, it's been a while. After almost 100 days, we finally have internet access again in Iran, which means I can finally get back to making videos. Thank you for your patience, and sorry for disappearing. It was completely out of my control. Things have been pretty unusual around here lately. But enough about that. Today I'm going to show you how to create smooth shading, even dark values, without getting those annoying blotchy or patchy areas. For this video, I'm working on a tattoo that appears on somebody's body. So I'm basically drawing artwork that's already drawn on skin. More especially, this tattoo represents a statue, which means we need to recreate a rough stone-like texture. And if you enjoy realistic drawing tutorials, do not forget to leave a like. It really helps the channel and let me know you would like to see more videos like this. Let's get this started. As you can see, I am taking advantage of paper's natural texture to create this rough stone-like surface. The paper I'm using has a really subtle grain that works perfectly for this effect. If your paper completely smooth, do not worry. You can recreate a similar texture by using very small circulate motions with your pencil. I actually do that quite often, even when I'm using texture paper. For this drawing, I'm mainly working with HP, 4P, and 6P, and sometimes 2H. One of the biggest mistakes beginners make is trying to reach the final darkness too quickly. Instead, build your values gradually. Work layer by layer and allow the darkness to develop naturally. If you try to force it in a single pass, you'll need to excessive pressure, which usually leads to uneven shading and visible patches. A smooth dark value is almost always the result of patience rather than pressure. For the softer textures and smooth shading, I'm using a brush together with charcoal powder. One thing to remember is that charcoal powder can significantly darken graphite underneath. So, I always pay attention where and how much I'm applying. Small decisions like that can make a huge difference in the final result. For areas that need a rough stone-like texture, I lowered the angle of the pencil and used gentle circular motions with very light pressure. For larger shadow areas and darker sections of skin, I prefer using brush. It draws soft and quick. And honestly, when you are working on a detailed drawing like this, saving time without sacrificing quality is always a good thing. To protect the background while blending, I'm using a plastic sheet. This prevents unwanted charcoal and graphite from spreading into clean areas of the drawing. I mean background in this point. Now I'm going to stay quiet for a moment and let you focus on the pencil movement. There isn't really a new technique here, I'm simply applying the same principles we've already discussed. I've slowed the footage down a bit so you can clearly see how the texture and values are being built. Watch how little pressure I'm using and how gradually their darkness develops. That's the key. For this side of the drawing, I needed lighter values. So I'm switching to a 2H pencil while following exactly the same process. If I ever need to soften the pencil textures, I use a stiff brush without any charcoal powder or graphite powder and lightly work over the texture. This helps blend the marks together while keeping the surface clean and controlled. Here I'm using a clean makeup sponge pad, I think, to create these highlights. Make sure the sponge is unused, free of oil, and completely clean. For sharper highlights, you can use an electrical eraser while it's turned off, or simply use a pencil eraser. If you want softer highlights and smoother transitions, a kneaded eraser is usually the better option because it can be shaped into almost any forms. This final layer helps increase the contrast and give the tattoo much more depth and visual impact. We are getting very close to the finished result now. Let me know in the comments which part of this video was more helpful for you. I always read your comments and they often inspire future videos. After such a long break, I really wanted to come back with something useful and detailed. And I hope this tutorial helps you improve your own drawing. If you like to see more realistic drawing tutorials, charcoal techniques, and detailed shading lessons, make sure to subscribe. I've got some exciting projects and tutorials planned for the coming weeks, and I can't wait to share them with you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.